Good afternoon to you. We will continue with the Constitution. Today we will take up parliamentary committees. Very important topic. You will get at least 2 to 3 questions in parliamentary committees in PT. What is parliamentary committee? See, parliamentary committee is a committee constituted by Parliament to examine or scrutinize the issues allocated to the committee by the Speaker or by the House or Chairman or by the Council, as the case may be. The Parliament is too unwieldy a body, entrusted with the main task of lawmaking. In addition, it exercises control over executive, it exercises control over finance, and also control over the discipline of the members, strangers, and in addition, both the houses of Parliament, as you know, they elect the President, they elect the Vice President, they impeach the President, remove Vice President, and other constitutional dignitaries like judges of Supreme Court and High Court, CAG, et al. So the Parliament has to discharge numerous onerous items of work relating to the entire affairs of the country. Now, where is the time and expertise for the Parliament? The Parliament is constitutionally required to meet only twice a year without leaving an interval of more than 6 months between the two sessions. Nevertheless, our Parliament meets 3 times a year. Monsoon session, which is coming soon, normally July, August. Winter session, November, December. And budget session, February to May. Budget session is of longer duration, since it has to clear budget, finance bill, demands for grants, etc. In addition, it has to pass a number of bills, legislative proposals. To overcome the workload and multivarious items of work, the committee system has been introduced. Now, the committee system had the origin of Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Understand? Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, PT point of view. The constitutional reforms are suggested in the report authored by Edwin Montagu, was a Secretary of State for India, and Lord Chelmsford was the Viceroy of India between 1916 and 1921. So, the committee system was the brainchild of Government of India Act 1919. Again, PT point of view, Government of India Act 1919, Montagu-Chelmsford reforms 1921, which was in turn based on Chelmsford reforms. For obvious reasons, the committees so formed by the British were not free from government control. Now, from the examination point of view, you should know that the Constitution does not mention any particular committee in its provisions. No particular committee has been mentioned in the Constitution. Clause 2 and Clause 4 of Article 105 of the Constitution mention about the powers, privileges, and immunities of the members of Parliament including the members of the committees, estimate committees constituted by the Parliament. Similarly, Schedule 7, List 74, list number Schedule 7, List 1 to 74, mention about the committees. List 1, 74 item, 74th item. Again, Article 22 provides that the validity of the proceedings in Parliament shall not be called in question on any ground, and the same immunity has been extended to the members who are vested with the powers under the Constitution to be the chairpersons of the committees. So the chairpersons of the parliamentary committees enjoy the same immunity to control and conduct the proceedings of the committee. Now remember, Constitution recognizes only one committee. I told you no particular committee has been mentioned in the Constitution except one. Constitution recognizes only one committee, that is the Committee on Official Language under Article 344 of the Constitution, responsible to examine and implement the recommendations of Official Language Commission, which was again constituted under Article 344. The Official Language Committee consists of 30 members, 20 from Lok Sabha, 10 from Rajya Sabha, elected by a system of proportional representation by single transferable vote. So in nutshell, this is the only specifically mentioned committee in the Constitution. So, right from the beginning I have told you, Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, 1921, and the only committee mentioned in the Constitution is Committee on Official Language, Article 344. And what is the purpose of the committee? To examine the recommendations of Official Language Commission, which was also the byproduct of Article 344. Now, broadly there are two types of parliamentary committees. Broadly, there are two types of parliamentary committees. One is standing committee. Don't confuse with the departmentally related parliamentary standing committees. No. I am mentioning about broad category of parliamentary committees divided into two categories. Standing committee, that means permanent committees, though the tenure is only 1 year. Tenure is 1 year, it is a permanent committee. Of course, when the house dissolved, the committees also dissolved, except two committees that we will come when we deal with that. The standing committees and the ad hoc committees. What is the one category is standing committee, that is permanent committee, and another is ad hoc committee. Standing committees are those which are permanent in nature, though the term ends every year and renewed every year. Term ends every year, renewed every year. On the other hand, the ad hoc committees are constituted for a limited time, for a limited purpose, and liable to be wound up once the purpose is completed. So you understood the difference between the two. One is standing committee and the other is ad hoc committee. Standing committee, don't confuse with the departmentally related parliamentary standing committees. No, 24 committees. No, that we will come. That is a separate category. It is also a standing committee. But the term standing committee here mentions the category of committees. One category is standing committee. Here the standing committee means a permanent committees. Are those which are permanent in nature by the term of the committee. The term of the committee is 1 year and renewable every year, periodically. On the other hand, the ad hoc committees are constituted for a limited time, for a limited purpose, and liable to be wound up once the purpose is completed. Remember, both the standing committees and ad hoc committees are constituted by the speaker or chairman, as the case may be, by nomination, or nominated by the House or Council, as the case may be, or elected by a system of proportional representation by single transferable vote. Also remember, these committees have no constitutional sanction, but only creation of rules of the House. It was created, these committees have been created by the rules of the House. Of course, the rules were framed under the authority given by the Constitution to the Parliament. That is true. Now, point you should remember is, all these committees, that is ad hoc committee and what is known as standing committee, all these committees have been constituted by the rules of the House and not by the Constitution. Kindly remember, not by the Constitution. Constitution has created only one committee, that is Committee on Official Language. Rest of the committees have been created by the Parliament, respective houses, by through their rules of procedure. God forbid, tomorrow, if both the Vice President, that is who is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha and Speaker, with the permission, with the approval of the Prime Minister, they said there are too many committees. It is too many committees. That we will come later on. There are too many committees, overlapping committees. So we will rationalize all the committees. So instead of having so many committees, we will have only 10 committees or 11 committees. Then entire thing, the rules will be scrapped and the new rules will be framed. What I want to say is, you are not going to amend the Constitution. It is within the prerogative of the Chairman Rajya Sabha and Speaker Lok Sabha to reconstitute any committee they like, to create any committee they like. That is the point you should remember. Now, again, these standing committees are divided into 6 groups. 6 groups. Again, first 2 committees, permanent committee, that is called standing committee. Second is ad hoc committee. This standing committee is divided into 6 categories, 6 groups. What are those 6 groups? First one is finance committee. Public accounts committee, estimate committee. Another is committee on public undertaking, COPU, that is PAC, EC and COPU. Public accounts committee, estimate committee, committee on public undertaking. All the 3 put together, we call this as finance committee, the most powerful committees. Next is departmentally related parliamentary standing committee. Here also the standing committee. That's what I said. Don't confuse with this. This is departmentally related parliamentary standing committee. You should use the full term. Departmentally related. Why departmentally related? Each parliamentary committee has certain departments under them. Well, every committee has 6 departments, 7 departments, depending upon the workload, it is allotted. So, departmentally related parliamentary standing committee. How many committees are there? 24 committees are there, with 31 members each. 24 committee with 31 members each. Point to be noted, this is the largest committee. There used to be a question, which committee has the largest number of members? Estimate committee and public accounts committee, committee on public undertaking, assurance committee. This is the committee. That is departmentally related standing committee. Each committee has 31 members, 24 committees. So, second. Third category is committee on inquiry, which is scrutinize, which is inquire. Number 1 is petition committee. Number 2 is privileges committee. Number 3 is committee on ethics. Committee on ethics is a new creation for your information. Committee on ethics, after this cash on questions, cash on query. After this was created, committee on ethics. Then comes 4th category, control committee. That is the committee which controls. What are those? Government assurances. Parliamentary Committee on Government Assurances, then Parliamentary Committee on Subordinate Legislation, then Parliamentary Committee on Papers Laid on the Table, then Parliamentary Committee on Welfare of SC/ST, and Parliamentary Committee on Empowerment of Women, then finally Joint Committee of Office of Profit. Joint Committee of Office of Profit. Then fifth category, which attends to day-to-day business of the House. What are those? Number 1, Business Advisory Committee. Number 2, Parliamentary Committee on Private Members' Bills and Resolutions. Number 3, Rules Committee. Number 4, Committee on the Absence of Members of the House. So, these are all put together. We call this as day-to-day business of the House. Then comes housekeeping. Housekeeping, that is administration, etc. That is General Purpose Committee. Number 1, House Committee. Number 2, Library Committee. Number 3, Joint Committee on Salaries and Allowances. Number 4. So all these things are, what are those? Housekeeping committees. Now, before we proceed one by one, you should find out the answer, clarification for this from the examination point of view. I will tell all these things, but you should understand this. What are those? Number 1. Some committees are elected committees. Some committees are nominated committees. Some committee members are nominated by the House, some are nominated by the Speaker. So, or Speaker or Chairman, as the case may be. So, you should know which committees are elected committees. Number 1, PSC, Estimate Committee, Committee on Public Undertaking, Committee on Welfare of Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe, and Official Language Committee, which is in the Constitution. These committees are elected committees. Underline. Important from the examination point of view. Match the following. Then, some committees are constituted separately for Lok Sabha and separately for Rajya Sabha. Government assurance, etc. This is exclusively one for Rajya Sabha, one for Lok Sabha. Subordinate legislation, one for Rajya Sabha, another for Lok Sabha. Like that. Then there are joint committees, Office of Profit. Joint committee. Joint committee means both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members will be there. Simply because Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members are there, you cannot call this as a joint committee. For example, PSC is both the Rajya Sabha members are there, Lok Sabha members. It is not a joint committee. It is a Lok Sabha committee. The Rajya Sabha members are only associated. They are not even elected. Only Lok Sabha member, that we will come when we deal with the PSC. The Lok Sabha members in the PSC, Public Accounts Committee, are elected, whereas Rajya Sabha members are associated. Technically, this is a Lok Sabha committee. Why? How do you know it is Lok Sabha committee? The chairman is appointed by the Lok Sabha Speaker, not by the chairman Rajya Sabha. So, this is number. Then, in which committee the highest number of members are present? Departmentally related standing committee, 31 members. That is the largest membership. Then comes in which committees minister cannot be a member. Minister cannot be a minister means immediately remember it is a government. So government cannot be a member. For instance, assurance, because the entire assurance is against the governor, against the government, and the subordinate legislation, the subordinate legislation is against the government. Similarly, petition committee, it is against the government. So minister cannot be a member in these committees. Then, in which other committee chairpersons are nominated by Speaker and nominated by Chairman Rajya Sabha? We should know. Exactly. These are all small things which are relevant for the examination. Then, which committees are chaired by Deputy Speaker and Speaker? For in the Business Advisory Committee, it is chaired by what is known as Speaker. And so you have to understand which committees are chaired by Speaker, which committees are chaired by Deputy Speaker. Privilege Committee, it is chaired by Deputy Speaker. You should know the difference. Secondly, which committees are chaired by Chairman Rajya Sabha? Some Business Advisory Committee of Rajya Sabha is chaired by Chairman Rajya Sabha because they have to finalize the agenda. Then a committee which is constituted exclusively with Lok Sabha members, Estimate Committee. which committee has only Lok Sabha members, estimate committee. Estimate committee is the privilege of the Lok Sabha. Why? It is related to budget. Whose responsibility is the budget? Lok Sabha. So, we will end the class now. We will continue with the parliamentary committee in a very thorough manner in the next subsequent classes. Thank you very much. Thank you.